Hello friends, and welcome to another craft tutorial. My name is Corinne Blackstone and I want to welcome you here to my craft room. I'm so excited to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed. That way you don't miss out on any of the crafty content we have coming. I know a lot of you aren't subscribed and I'm not sure why you're not. I post lots of fun videos every Wednesday and Sunday that you don't want to miss out on. Now in today's video, we're going to be doing another Canva SVG creation, but for this one we're just going to use text, and I'm going to show you how text differs a little bit from doing like an image SVG. I will link the other SVG video right up here for you and also down in the video's description. That way you can check that out if you haven't yet. Now I love using Canva to make SVGs, and you're going to see some people that say it can't be done, they come in messy, they don't work right. It's because they're missing out on another step. We are going to use Inkscape for this, but Inkscape is actually pretty easy when you follow along with what I'm doing, and it's a completely free program, which is fantastic. You can download it at inkscape.org, and it is for both Mac and PC. There is no app for it, so you will have to use a desktop or laptop computer for this, but it is fantastic, and it's actually a lot easier than you think. I promise you're going to be able to do this. So let's head over to Canva and make our SVG.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
Welcome back to Canva and another tutorial on how to make an SVG using Canva. In this one we're going to be doing text because it's a little bit crazier looking, and so I think it's a little more intimidating when it comes to the Inkscape side of it, but I promise you it's really just as easy as the other one with just a few more layers to deal with. I'm going to apologize now for hearing any tipping and tapping in the background. It is absolutely pouring rain. It's been doing it for days and there's nothing I can do about it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use some text here to create just a little design. We're not going to do anything too crazy fancy, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the text option over here in the sidebar, and you can really use any kind of text that you want. If you have a pro account, you can upload your own text, but for this I'll just use their styles that they offer in their text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a shirt that's going to say if I could type we'd be doing great. I'm going to do pumpkin spice, not space, my goodness. We're going to do pumpkin spice and everything nice. So what I want to do is I want to use a couple different fonts just so you can see. This may not be like the cutest design, but I'm going to try to make it cute, and if it comes out cute, I'll give it to you guys for free on my website. But we're going to design this together start to finish. So what I'll do is I'm going to go into my fonts, and like I said, I'll make this one completely free. So what you're going to see over in the text box is that some of the text has a little crown, and I know it's kind of hard to see. I can zoom in a little bit and you can see the little crown, and if you hover over it, it will say that you can't use it if you're not a pro member. I'm a pro member, so I can use those, but like I said, I'm going to do this for free. So we're just going to scroll through and we're going to try to look for some fonts that don't have the crown. So like this Bakari script is really cute. I actually kind of like that. So let's go with that. That one actually is super duper cute. Then I want to add another text box, and for this I just want to use the ampersand, so the little and sign, to create the and, because I don't want to use just like and. I don't know. I just think this will be kind of fun. But I don't really love it in this font. I think it's kind of weird. So I'm going to go through and look for maybe a font that has a different style ampersand that we can use. And if you didn't know, that's what that's called. It's called an ampersand. It's not the and sign. But we're going to try to find something that matches sort of with that style, but without being too crazy. And I can't use that one because that is a pro font. So I'm going to scroll through, find a font with the ampersand that I like. And actually that one works. I like that one. That one will do just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and center that one. And then I think I'm just going to use the same font. So I'm going to copy and paste this one, and we might change it, but I don't think we will. And we're going to do an everything nice. And now that I'm kind of looking at it, I really don't like that. So we'll change it. Again, you can play with it, change it however you want, make whatever you want, do your own thing, up to you. So let me scroll through, find a sign that I like, and then from there we can get working on turning this into a good quality SVG. All right, I'm going to go with Times New Roman. I think that one looks okay. Now, obviously, we can really play with this, change it up a little bit, do what we want to do to it. So let's do a few little changes to it so that it you know, just makes it a little more fun. The first thing I'm going to do is change the color, and I'm going to do an orange for pumpkin spice, and let's do yellow for everything nice, and maybe like a brown. So notice that we don't have a brown option in our default colors. What you'll do is go to add new color, and then use the slide bar to create the brown. I think that looks good. It's pretty cute. Now we can do things like curve this, stuff like that. So let's go up to effects and let's curve this a little bit. Not that much because that looks cuckoo crazy. But let's just give it a little curve, and then we'll curve everything nice the opposite direction so that it goes just a little bit into the and. And you can kind of look at how each word is curved and play with those, because I think if I curve this to the same curve, it's going to be a little too curved looking. No, actually, that's not too bad. So let me slide these apart a little bit because I want a little more space. I don't know what happened, but if that ever happens, go ahead and just click undo. I think I must have accidentally hit this little delete when I was trying to get to the and sign, because I want to make this a bit bigger. I think that looks pretty nice. I think that's kind of what we're going for. So let's stick with that. And all we need to do from here is go to share. Now, like I said, I wanted to do this completely for free. So I'm going to show you two different options on how you can do this. So I've done it this way first. So if I'm just using a free Canva account, you're going to notice that I can really download it in a couple ways, but SVG is not one of the options. What you want to do is you're going to download it as a PNG. You're not going to be able to use a transparent background or anything like that, but just go ahead and click download. It's going to take a second and it will process your download. All we need to do from here is just save it how we want. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to just call it Pumpkin Spice Test, since we're just kind of using it to try this out. So then I'm going to click save. Now from here, I'm going to load it over into Design Space and show you kind of how you can do this using a PNG in Design Space, but it is kind of a pain. So over in Design Space, we'll need to upload our PNG. So I'm going to click upload. I'm going to click upload image, and then I'm going to browse for it. Now it's going to be in my quick access right here at the top. So I'm just going to choose that. Choose complex and click continue. Now from here, you want to remove your background. So again, we're going to do it for free, meaning we're not going to use automatic background remover. We're going to remove the background ourselves. All you simply have to do is click on any of the white spaces. Now you'll want to zoom in because you want to make sure that you get in between any of your letters. So I'm just going to go through and click all those letters. Now this is not going to be a true SVG. This is just a PNG that you've removed the background from. But this is one way to do it if you want to do this for free. Then I'm going to click apply and continue. I want to save it as the cut image and click upload. Now there are some issues with this, and I'm going to show you why I don't like doing it this way, because it's just not going to give you the same quality. You'll notice that the lines look okay-ish, but they're not as smooth and perfect as they would be if they were an actual SVG. Now you'll notice that everything has changed to be the same color. Now, obviously, you could cut it this way if you want to, but we want to change the colors up, and you can do this in a couple ways. But one way you can do it is if you duplicate your design, and then you want to select it, and then you can go to contour, and you want to contour out all the pieces that are not going to be the color that you want to use. So we're going to just get rid of everything that isn't going to be the yellow of everything nice. Now, you'll notice that as I click on these pieces, they disappear. And then we want to get rid of the and, so you can really see that and disappearing over here. Then close this out, and you can change this over to yellow. Now, there's another option, a way to do this as well. What you can do is use some shapes and just slice this apart. So I'm going to use a circle here, and I'm going to slice out the and sign, the ampersand. Select everything, the circle and your black design, and then just click slice. That's going to pull out the design into a couple of different pieces. So we can get rid of the big circle. We don't need that. We can get rid of the extra and now we have the plain and. And remember, we had that one as brown. So stick that over here. And then you can just slice out your pumpkin spice section as well. And for that, I can just use a rectangle. And then you just cover up the entire design of the pumpkin spice. without covering up anything of the everything nice. Select both items and you can use slice. Now you want to make sure that you have both items selected or slice will remain gray. Go ahead and select those, slice that out, and then you're going to delete all the parts that you don't want. So we don't need everything nice anymore, and we don't need the gray square or the gray piece. And then we can put this over here and turn it orange. Now that is a lot of work, but it does work if you don't have Canva Pro. Now let me show you why I highly recommend having Canva Pro. The beautiful thing with Canva Pro is I can actually download this as an SVG. So what I can do is I can go to Share, and I can click on Download. I want to select the SVG option right here, and then I want to make sure I have transparent background selected as well. Then I can click Download. Now with this, you're still going to need to do a few things to make sure that it works right with Cricut Design Space, but I'm going to be using Inkscape that's completely free to show you how to do it. Now I'm going to save this as Pumpkin Spice Test again, just so I know what it is, and click Save. We're going to head over to Inkscape to make some changes, but let me show you why we need to use Inkscape first. I'm going to go ahead and just group this guy together and stick him over in the corner because this guy we're going to use to kind of compare to the other one. Now I'm going to go to Upload, and I'm going to choose Upload Image and Browse, and I'm going to use that Pumpkin Spice Test SVG. Now it looks pretty good from here, right? Like it looks exactly like it looked on the canvas over on Canva. Go ahead and click Upload, and then you're going to select your image and you're going to add it to the canvas. You're going to notice that over in the Layers panel, look at this and how many layers there are. It looks absolutely insane. So if you don't do a few things to this before you go to click Make It, I'm going to show you what it does. Click Make It, and you're going to see the two different versions of our design. They're going to be different colors. So this is the one that we just uploaded direct from Canva, and you'll notice that it was kind of all messed up. This is the one we made from Design Space, and you'll notice that it looks really good all held together. Again, the one from Canva. Now, if you don't want to do the extra step and you're just using it for yourself, there is an easy way to fix this. All you need to do is select all the yellow parts and then all the orange parts, and I'll show you how to do this. You need to select your entire design and first click Ungroup. Now it's going to again be a ton of different pieces, so you want to just make sure that you're aware that you're going to have a lot of layers for just a minute. I want you to select everything that's yellow, and from here I want you to go to Combine. Now you can use Weld, which will reduce the amount of layers that you have, but you can't undo it, or you can use Unite. Now, because we created this in another program, I'm just going to use Weld because I'm not going to really be able to change it up anyways. But Weld is going to reduce those layers. See how much that reduced the layers? Now, I want you to do the same thing for the orange, and I want you to go to Combine, and I want you to Weld. And especially since we're using a script font, welding is super important. Now, let me hide this original one that we made, the grouped one that was just the PNG. What you can do from here is click Make It, and now since we used Weld, it's going to hold everything together the way we wanted it to. But let's say that this is a design that we want to share with a friend who maybe isn't as savvy with Cricut, or we want to offer this on an Etsy shop or something like that. Let me show you how we fix this so that when you sell this or give this to somebody, they do not have a headache and either don't leave you a bad review or don't want to be your friend anymore. Over here in Inkscape, we're going to upload that SVG, so we're just going to import it. I want to go to File and Import, and I can go just to Quick Access again because it's easy to access right there. And I want to use this one, Pumpkin Spice Test, the one with the capitalized test, because this is our SVG. Now I'll zoom in on this a bit so that we can shrink it a little and make it fit a little bit better into our screen. So if you don't have the Objects panel open, just go to Object and click where it says Objects. That's going to bring up this Objects panel. And this is what we're going to be working with for our design. Now you'll notice that you have layer 1 here, and then you have this one that says G2185. What I want you to do is select on the G2185. I want you to then click on Ungroup, which you can get to from the side here, or you can go to Object and click Ungroup. Now you're going to see that you still have a ton of G with a plus sign. You're going to need to click ungroup until all those plus signs are open. So again, you can use the option over here to click ungroup, or you can go to object and click ungroup. Definitely some different options to do that you can work with. It's just a matter of what works best for you. Now you do have a ton of layers for this one. So you'll see here, and I'll open one, you can see where this path is. This is why we need to ungroup. Now sometimes if it gets a little bit slow, I will ungroup just a couple of objects at a time. So you can just ungroup as you go, and you want everything to say path. So because this one is a lot of objects, I'm going to go ahead and just select a couple sections at a time and ungroup them. That way it's just a little bit better and easier on Inkscape to handle it. Now what you're going to notice here is if you click on a path, each path is one of the letters. So you'll see here that you've got all of these yellow path pieces. So this path, 1946 all the way up to 2056, is all yellow. So if I select all of those, you'll see that it holds all the yellow pieces. What we want to do from here is once we have all the yellow pieces selected, go up to path, and you want to choose union. That is like using weld in Design Space. Now you'll note that all those paths turned into one single path. Now we don't need to worry about the and sign. That's one single path, so we don't need to do anything to him. But you'll notice that path 1930 all the way down to 1836 is our orange part, so that's our orange text. So we want to go ahead and make sure to union that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and choose path and then union. Now what's really fun with this is, and is super helpful if you're a seller, you can change the names of your layers. So I'm going to change this one to everything. This one is going to be and then you can change this one to pumpkin. What's great about that is that's going to show over in Design Space, which is super helpful if you have things like score lines that you need to add, or you have specific like wording, something like that, but it's very helpful. Now what you want to do is go to File, and I want to Save As, and you can either just save it as the same name that you had it saved on, or you can change it to something else because you know it's the final one. So I'm going to call it Pumpkin Final, and click Save. I do tend to like to keep the original Canva SVG just in case anything happens between now and when I take it over into Design Space. Now let's go ahead and upload this to Design Space so you can see why it was important to do those extra steps. So over here in Design Space, we have our original, and then we have the PNG version, which is over here as well. But let's go ahead and upload our SVG that we did with Inkscape. Go to upload, upload image, and then you can again just browse and use quick access, and here's Pumpkin Final. Now you'll see that it looks really similar to the one that we uploaded directly from Canva. But once you put it in the canvas on Design Space, you're going to see a big difference. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the canvas, and you'll see here that we have what we call Pumpkin Final. And you'll see that all of our parts are good to go. So I'm going to hide the one that we welded, and I'm going to hide the group one really quick just so you can see a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this. And now you'll see that you have all of your different parts. Now when I click Make It, what you're going to see is it holds everything together correctly. You didn't have to do any extra work in Design Space. That's why that's an important step, because if you want to sell these, if you want to give them to people, whatever you want to do with these, you want to make them as less work for the person you're selling to or the person you're giving to as possible. This is a really important step and makes life so much easier for everybody. But you can see that by using your own text, it's really easy to make your own SVGs in Canva. Now, I will link the other Canva video that I did in this video for you if you want to see it, and I'll link it down below too, because that one works with just images, but you can then combine your text and your image knowledge now to create your very own fun SVGs using Canva. Now, like I said, I do recommend Canva Pro. It's a great deal and it's a business expense, so you can always write it off on your taxes. If you guys have any questions about this or any of the other things that we do here on the channel, by all means, please let me know in those comments down below. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks to working with Canva. I think it's really fun. I think you can really make some great stuff. And don't believe people that sit there and tell you you cannot make a good quality SVG using Canva. You can. You just need to know how to do a few of the extra steps to make sure that your design is going to come out perfectly and easy to use. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, happy crafting.